Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with the G&E TV. You, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's show for our weekly update. And of course, the past week has lots of things to pay attention to, and our guest might bring it to you one by one. Expect that.
Well, now here's what I will be comparing it with. When President Trump landed in Saudi Arabia, they had a spectacular greeting for him. Red carpet, the king was there, and he was spectacularly received.
Leaders of 50 countries
Right.
bowed to him.
Yeah, in just respect.
And welcomed him
Yeah.
to him.
So
right?
I hope when he lands in Beijing that we'll have some red carpet and we'll have the leaders with a warm welcome, which I suspect will happen.
Red carpet
and
is
I
for
look
sure,
forward.
I believe.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Probably Xi Jinping will be there in person.
I
Because
hope so.
You're talking about president to president.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like
right.
king to president
The
in
king
Saudi
to
Arabia.
president. Yeah, it is a lot like they're on the same level. It's not any entourage thing.
Right.
It is a
Man to man.
Man to man thing.
Man to
right?
man.
Could be that.
Yeah.
And of course, a question nowadays between China and the United States, there are disagreements, there are conflicts, there are common grounds.
Correct.
It's hard to quantify them, which is more, which is less. However, at the meeting, though, do you think they will exchange more on the common grounds, or vice versa?
Frankly, I think the answer will be both, because one of the most important things, besides all our trade things that President Trump's going to try to improve for America, Chinese influence on North Korea will be the #1 topic, I would think. And that has me scared. You know, we have, I don't know how many aircraft carriers now, but off the coast of North Korea. And you know, China does have the power. They are doing things that are more effective against North Korea. The people of North Korea, you know, maybe they suffer a little bit to try to stop this nuclearization.
You're right.
But that's the way it is. It's up to China. We will have peace.
It is up to China. It is up to North Korea too.
Yes, it is.
Because China had been lately, if you pay attention to what China is doing or has been doing for the past 3-4 months, you will see that China is doing more and more, putting more and more pressure onto them, rather than a one lump sum thing.
Right.
Rather than first with the withdrawal of the trade, and then with the bank thing, with the money thing, and
Right.
now you're talking about, okay, now back up from it or you die, something like that.
Well, it's money and trade, and we can see that the banks are having better controls on that. And but there's also things we just hope there's nothing we don't see.
And there is a third possibility.
Yeah.
Remember a few days ago, Dr. Kissinger offered to go.
I love Dr. Kissinger.
Yeah, Dr. Kissinger
I
offered to
admire
get
him.
involved.
Yeah.
Dr. Kissinger is known for a man of problems, of man of resolving problems.
Yes.
Man of melting problems. Okay, now I'm getting a little naive with Dr. Henry Kissinger and China all together pushing, one from top and then one at the side push.
Yes.
And our militaries are around it. Okay.
Right.
All right. So here's our muscles. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to die, you want to live, or you want to die a hard way, or whatever.
And tell your viewers, remind them
would
that
probably-
Dr. Kissinger is the American that went to China before Richard Nixon,
sure.
but not everybody knows that.
That
And so
exactly.
he's
Yes,
a
yes,
very, very significant person in Chinese history.
Thank you for that reminder, because some of my young audiences, for example,
They have no idea.
somebody like my son's age,
Yeah.
right, they will have no idea about who we are talking about.
And Dr. Kissinger is 90 years old now.
Yeah, Dr. Kissinger, 90 years old, more than 90 years
Yeah.
old. Thank God he's still alive, he's still in good health.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
His mind is.
he met with Mr. James Su like 2 years ago, I believe. Yeah,
I'd love to shake his hand.
we had a picture taken of that on the wall of our entrance of our business.
That would be nice.
It is such a character respected so much. All right?
Yeah.
In this world, nobody doesn't accept Henry Kissinger
As a leader and a man
as a
of
leader
true brilliance.
of civilization,
Right.
humanism.
Both the
right?
left
Like
and
that.
right respect
Okay.
him.
Back in 2000, no, not 2000, 1972, during those years, there was a Cold War when Russia was preparing an attack to China. They were ready to use nuclear power, right? And they released the information via media to the United States to test water, to see how the United States would respond once war breaks up.
Right. Okay.
And Henry Kissinger was sent by Carter at that time. No, not Carter. Nixon.
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 Early
Nixon,
70s.
Yeah, early 70s, but by Nixon that time, to get in touch with China, say somebody want to do this attack, right? And then got the information, got everything on their alert, and the United States says we do not agree. If you attack, we get involved. Something like that.
Right.
So you're talking about, remember we're talking about the tripod balance?
Right.
And that balance function at that time,
Right.
that stopped Russia of invading China.
Yeah.
You guys love China, love Russia so much, there's a little reference for you to think about, right? This is how they wanted, what they plan to do. Thanks to Dr. Henry Kissinger, I believe the same story I'm telling that you know, right?
Very well.
Yeah, very well. Yeah.
I was alive.
All right,
I followed
go
it.
Ahead. Go ahead. I'll better let you continue. Yeah.
Oh, no. Dr. Kissinger was just very famous for being an intermediary among countries that had problems with each other, and he was respected. He was welcomed everywhere. He was listened to, and he was often very successful and highly respected. And really, China loved Dr. Kissinger.
He did a.
I'd love him to go with President Trump to China.
He did a glorious job for stopping World War III. That should be World War III.
Right.
And to my friend who liked to Boruski so much, well, here's a reference. All right.
Right.
Anyway, go back to Henry Kissinger. He offers himself.
Yeah.
He offers to Donald Trump administration, say, I would offer to get involved with a negotiation. Well, no. Okay, now, question. When Donald Trump goes to China, would he pack him, I mean Dr. Henry Kissinger,
On the plane.
and in the same trip
Yeah.
as one of the top guys, top whatever, advisor for his entourage?
You know, I haven't heard that yet, but I think it would be it would be just laudatory, praiseful to bring Dr. Kissinger to China for a final meeting, a final farewell with his activities with China, because he was very important.
At least Henry Kissinger and Xi Jinping and his administration,
Right.
and the Trump administration, the three administrations all together can share some thoughts.
I'd like that.
I believe some wisdom there.
Yeah, and it might
There
happen.
must be some wisdom there.
If he's okay to travel, I hope President Trump thinks of that.
Yeah, to deal with a kid like that, you know, it's quite an easy job for them when you mobilize a team like that big.
It's a big
On this global
trip.
earth, on this global earth, there's no team bigger than that team.
And then President Trump goes to South Korea also. So, you know, this is a big deal.
All right, good. And probably we can ally South Korea, and China can ally South Korea, and do a bigger deal, right? Anyway, so in addition to the North Korean subject, what else do you think could be the big subject between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping?
Well, let me ask you this, because it's be interesting to me and to your viewers. They are saying, now what I hear doesn't mean that I'm right always, but that they haven't, normally when they have these congresses every 5 years, they're sort of, you can tell who the future leader is going to be. And in this case, there's nobody sort of identified as a future leader, replacement, okay? And also then, and I really want to know your thoughts on this, President Xi has put in some more powers for him, and which go into the Constitution and everything. My friends, you know, I'm speaking for just a bunch of regular Americans like me, the more power centralized in one person, it doesn't feel good to my friends. That's more like, because at least China has a Congress that can debate with each other. But if there's too much power, that's more of a dictatorship.
Yeah,
and
you're
so
right,
what do you think about that?
I would like to share with you my thoughts. Okay,
Yeah.
I've been here in the United States for 34 years already.
Thank
The
you for
34 years, of course, this is my home.
Yeah.
I'll never go. I'll never leave. Right. This is my
that. It's your
my
homeland
own
now.
land.
Yeah.
Right, okay, now, so I can share with you the route that I've been going through.
Right.
When I first landed in America, and those early days, early years, I loved the system so much, right? Because I knew nothing about it, as a matter of fact. I get
Okay.
excited by the fact that I'm excited.
Right.
Right.
That's
And
exciting.
then later, during the middle term years, okay, say, like say, first 10, middle 10, and last 10, or present 10, or something like that. Let's cut it the second 10, I started to doubt. I'm not doubting the system being the best on the earth.
Okay.
I was doubting the system has holes.
Some of the power players too.
Yes, you're right.
Right.
Some corruptions too.
Right.
Some power holes too.
Right.
Some legislation holes too.
Right.
And the party kind of like exhaustion between themselves too.
Right.
Stuff like that. Okay. They exhaust themselves. Okay, now. And the latter part, I started to come down. Now my mind are broader than when I came.
Yeah. Right.
Now, I'm thinking about number one, there's no nation has a population like China, 1.41 last time we checked.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Whereas the second place is
Yeah.
1.3 something.
Yeah, India.
With India.
Yeah.
Nobody has a country of that population. And nobody had a system, like say for example, United States has a system, maybe it could be something for Belgium to follow, for example, which is randomly pick
Right,
a country.
right, right.
Maybe
right.
for Scandinavia to follow.
Right.
Or whoever. Because size-wise, where they're smaller,
Yeah.
they're looking up at a successful model. Okay, let's follow United States.
Right.
When China want to do the same thing, looking around for something, okay, who do I copy?
Right.
There is nobody for them to copy. So now, we should allow them, China, to go their own route, to test water themselves, to enhance themselves, to go to do their own.
Well, and in President Xi's 3-hour speech, one of his points was he wanted the Chinese method of government to be a role model for other countries to follow. Now, I don't like that. Okay, I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't
like
excite me.
I like that. Anyway, we disagree. on
Well,
that. Okay,
I don't think
my
you
dear
do.
audience, let's take a break. We're a little over this one, but it's good, and we want to come back still to finish it. With me, my good friend Ken Hemming. I like his comment, and I like his worry too, and his
Your worry.
concerns too. That indicates he's responsible.
I hope so.
He's not a hit and run guy. All right.
Not at all.
All right. Okay. We'll be right back, please. Action. Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the show. My lovely audiences, I really want to talk to you about the Chinese American Film Festival and the Chinese American TV Festival, which, with the condensed opening ceremonies past, is now entering into the screening period of a whole section. You're talking about throughout November. And there are more than 250 films and TV wonderful masterpieces to be screened in several theaters in Southern California. You will go online with GNE TV to find information, or online with the EDI Media find information, or you want to call 626 586 856 3889 to find more information. Now, so much for that. Today, in one of the retrospect of the Chinese American Film Festival and the Chinese American TV Festival, I have the pleasure of my friend, director Glenn Zhang, visiting me. So to Director Glenn Zhang, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, thank you very much.
DI.
All right. Director Glenn Zhang is a well renowned director. As a new director, he has his film, I mean, the first film, I believe that was, no, maybe not the first. What is the one that you won the Golden Angel Award for short for?
Oh my, this is 2011.
2011?
That is the seventh.
11 or 10?
Seventh Chinese American Film Festival.
2011, the 7th anniversary,
Yes.
right? Okay.
And
So-
it's called Petals Onto the Sea.
The petals onto the sea, the flower petal,
right,
onto,
flower
the,
petals
onto, the,
onto the
onto, the,
sea.
onto the sea.
Yeah,
All right, good.
right.
And in that short film, I kind of like that. Even though short, it tells a long story, good story, very good story that's important to lots of parents as reference, in reference to how they want to deal with their sons and daughters whatsoever, right? Something like that. Okay, now, you were at the ceremony, all the ceremonies, and I saw you even at the opening night with the award presentation, right? You were there.
Right.
How did the whole thing impress you this year?
Well, I stayed in California, in Los Angeles, for all those years, almost 20 years, since 1995. And I started to pay attention to Chinese Film Festival, EDI Media, since I think 2009. Yes. At that time, we see there's not many films submitted. Now, compared with today, almost 500 TV series and films been submitted to the festival. It's amazing.
It is amazing, yes.
Yes. So as a whole, I could compare with what happened before, and it's, I think EDI have done a great job
Thank you.
to set up this platform to for the filmmakers, for the actors, for the movie fans. So to get together, it's really a festival here between a platform for the Chinese and American filmmakers, and they can communicate. They can talk a lot in the field of film as art, as a market, and even now this year is a special feature TV series, TV festival. So this is a new thing.
It
to all
was
the
a Chinese American Film Festival for film only. Starting about like 2 years ago, there's a new merge of TV submissions. Right? And the last year on the 12th, we had one window opened for TV, and that even gets more submission. All of a sudden, they come almost parallel to each other, all the way in. So this year, you're seeing a film festival and a TV festival. As a matter of fact, two parallel festivals at the same time. Yeah.
Right, and film market is very prosperous in China now, and also the TV market. I grown up with TV series. I mean, at that time in the 1980s, we watched Japanese Japanese TV series, American TV series. And now today we watch more in China. I mean, more TV series made by Chinese, and the wonderful stories being told. And we see the budget. And before, I know there's they could finish one series within 1 day. Now look at the budget, it's big budget, and almost the same like a movie.
You're talking about the rocket speed.
Right, and now it's and also the actor. I mean, the actors, actresses being paid a lot in playing TV series.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, I mean, from the past, a lot of actors, actresses, fames being set up because of they playing TV. Because usually the TV series plays for several months, right? And so all the people are watching it at night, and now it's day and night. So I mean, they could build up their films easily with
now
TV
that,
series.
Now that we are in America, we focus on the American film market or American TV market. You're talking about, do you think we start to see more Chinese films into the mainstream theaters, or the same, or less?
You mean in China?
I mean, Chinese films
Chi-
in here in the United States?
Oh, of course, more American films in here.
No.
But they're
Comparatively
Oh,
to
you mean the
what happened in the
TV
past, right?
okay.
Do we start seeing in the United States? Do we start seeing more Chinese films?
Yes, a lot more than before.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember I saw anyone when I started when I was started to stay here in this 1995, and now there's AMC. AMC, it's Wanda.
You're right,
Wanda
you're right.
bought it, right? And now they are in several cities. They are playing Chinese films
Yeah,
all the
I
time.
would like to point out, my dear audience, that due to the efforts of EDI, due to the efforts of Chinese American Film Festival, lots of films are being recognized in the United States film market.
Yes.
That I consider a big contribution of the Chinese American film market to the Chinese, or of the Chinese American Film Festival to the American film market.
Yes,
That's
that
a
is
big
EDI
contribution.
set up the platform
Yes,
of
yes.
of film festival. So
Yes.
more and more Asian films, of course Chinese mainly, films being introduced to the United States,
being
to the audience.
being recognized by
Yes.
American
Right.
audiences, right? And what we see now, at these ceremonies, we see the film market people, right? We see the television network people, right? Okay. Well, do you see that change will bring the Chinese American Film Festival to another elevation?
Yeah, I think so because the TV festival and the film festival not only it's a platform to screening the films. Also, we talk about the business because now the
Oh,
China
yeah.
and the U.S. There's co-productions between these two countries, and there's more and more. So into the more and people they want to talk about how we work together, not only in a film as art, also as a business, how they work together. Now Hollywood had a system of how to do films as an industry. Now Chinese is learning that.
Yeah.
And so this platform can help the filmmakers from China to learn this industry from this platform.
Did you notice the other day when you were at the showcase, the film showcase, film and the television showcase, that was on the 31st of
Yes.
October, that you attended, they signed 10 contracts.
Yes.
10 contracts, right?
Right.
Right. For the American film market or American TV market. That's quite a big step. Do you think so?
Yeah, those companies from China now they came to the United States, and they can set up companies. They can look into more, more deep into this industry, and to work together with the film people here.
So they have the money, they have the wish, right? The money and the wish. Yet the Chinese American Film Festival and the Chinese American TV Festival offers them two platforms to play on, right? So with the two platforms, they sign contracts and we'll go through you. Go find whatever, like that kind of thing, right? So we need a project of $2 million. We need a $2 million is too small, right? We need a project with $20 million or $50 million, something like that. So I expect to see lots of big move. Now that we have AMC being bought by Wang Jielin, I believe.
Yeah, Wanda
Jielin,
Group.
Wanda Group. And now you probably want to see the film festival group probably for the American market with the Chinese investors. Right. Very good. My dear friends, today with me is my good friend Glenn Jiang, director of films. And by the way, Glenn is also a calligrapher for Chinese hand brush writing.
Yeah, I'm into all those visual arts,
Visual art.
including the calligraphy and the painting as
in
well.
color painting. In color
painting. You could say so,
right.
but I always say
Okay,
the
for a
Chinese
director, for a director who knows films and also in color painting, that's a privilege, I believe.
Well, I know there's a lot of visual artists that became
Yeah, of course.
director later on.
Very good, very good. All right, let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we will probably talk about him and his projects or recent project. Please stay with us. Action. Hello, my dear friends, my dear lovely audiences. Welcome to the East West Show. Jack Chow on the East West with GNE TV. In the weekly update, we want to talk about the shooting in New York. I mean, the terrorist attack in New York with a truck, and the guy is confirmed ISIS. Here's an animal quote from Donald Trump.
Right.
We're starting with that event. With me is my good friend Ken Hemming. We're sharing some thoughts as common Americans. Right. As common Americans, I'm whatever, not necessarily all the time in agreement with my friend Ken Hemming, and he vice versa.
Right.
But on certain issues, we do have common ground.
Yes, sir.
And the common ground is so solid that we abide by the Constitution.
Yes, sir.
Right?
That's
Now,
right.
on that issue about Donald Trump, that this guy goes to Guantanamo Bay instead of a confinement of anywhere
In America,
within the United States. How do you read that decision, please?
You know, I'm not an expert on the subject at all. It's whether they consider him a enemy combatant, military combatant. Like when we have the people there were from that are in Guantanamo. We captured them in Afghanistan, Iraq, whatever. And this gentleman was gentleman. Let me take that back. This animal.
This animal, yes,
was shot here after murdering people and injuring people on our soil. So I want whatever is the most expeditious way to bring justice to his existence.
All right.
He's certainly a death penalty person.
I agree. I totally agree.
How do we do that the most efficient way?
The sooner we do it,
right,
the better we are.
Yeah.
The sooner we do it, the sooner the justice served.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. For we're not only speaking on behalf of the 8 dead, the 12 wounded.
Right.
We're speaking of on behalf of humanity.
Yes, exactly.
We're talking about civilization.
Worldwide
we're talking
humanity.
about worldwide humanity.
Yeah.
And of course, that includes Americans. We are Americans, right?
Yes, sir.
We believe that guy deserved to die right away.
We do.
Right. Okay. If he.
But we want to get information from him as quick as possible.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
And that exactly for that purpose, you move him out of United States territory, so to a place such as Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
That, my reading, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, within the territory of the United States, we have certain protocols,
Right.
call it the protocol,
Yeah.
to follow.
Our
right?
protocols, right.
Okay, now, outside the United States, we're not restricted to those only. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. In Cuba, it's a military prison, you know, for enemies, just like the prisoners of war. You know, but they've all been caught in action harming us.
Does that mean in a situation, if this guy refuses to talk, we can make him talk?
You could probably enhance the interrogation more in Guantanamo than you can in New York. Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure, right?
But see, the other thing with this guy, he's proud of what he did. He will be, his mouth wants to open. It wants to tell you how much he hates us and how he planned it and that it's spreading. He's trying to spread it with other people. So he's proud of what he did. So he probably won't try to hide it as much as some other people.
The joking part, the hilarious, part, is that we aided him.
Yes, right.
We brought him in, right? We aided him with food. We aided him with clothing. We aided him with a job. that could support a family, so on and so forth.
Right, right.
And he committed what he committed, and he was so proud of what he did.
He is proud.
He yelled with a slogan,
Right.
right?
Allah Akbar, God is great.
And he even wanted a flag in his hospital room,
Yeah, ISIS flag.
right? So
Not funny.
it looks like we are bullied. We play so much by rules, and so we are bullied.
Yeah,
of course. Again,
we're
the
foolish.
rules. Again, the rules are so wrong.
Right.
We are foolish. We have been foolish enough to aid our enemy to a certain extent,
Right.
out of control,
Right.
and yet we are still being bullied by the guy asking for a flag
Right.
to be flown
Right.
in his hospital.
Right. Right.
It's out of
It's
bounds,
incomprehensible.
out of boundary,
Yeah.
out of the human mind boundary, unimaginable, unthinkable.
It is.
People would, animal anyway,
Right.
would do that. The only animal definition could describe, because he doesn't have a human mind.
That's correct.
And
He
for
doesn't.
him,
no values of
and
quality.
for him to face justice, though, Guantanamo Bay is the right place.
Right. But, you know, like President Trump can't make that decision. Our judicial system has to make that decision. And I'm sure they're thinking about that now.
Let him go there. Let him go there,
Mm-hmm.
and probably there's only a solution, only place where we can make him talk, right?
Well, and I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
There is also one thing we want to mention. We want to pay attention to that. Can we learn enough lessons from it? Are we learning enough lessons from it?
Yeah, I think. Well, I believe that he will talk enough that we'll see if other people that were aware of what he was doing, for example, his wife, may well be charged with accessory to terrorism and murder. So people that know it, I mean, he's got his, he got the truck. People had to know what he thought about America, okay? And I think he was in a mosque that has been investigated many times, and we used to have some informants kind of in the mosque and talking to some people that then knew what happened when people left the mosque, because in the mosque they weren't saying what they were thinking, but afterwards they get together and go somewhere and talk about what their plans were to harm people in America. And then New York Mayor de Blasio stopped this surveillance on mosques, which I think is a huge mistake.
Do we still consider this guy as a lone wolf?
No, there is no lone wolf. There is no lone wolf.
The reason I'm asking is that I'm really confused with definition of lone wolves.
It's a misuse of a term. Say our leftists, our left friends in America, they try to call it a lone wolf because they don't want to acknowledge that the depth and the breadth of radical Islam terrorism is so pervasive and is growing.
That's exactly.
They're trying to disassociate that person
exactly
with
why
Islamic
I'm
terrorism.
asking.
Right.
You know what?
So there's no lone wolf.
The term of lone wolf from day one
Is a wrong term.
bothers me a lot.
It's
You're
a
talking about
political
it-
correct term.
Yeah, no. Never be considering too much of a political correct. We are hurting. Well, I mean, we are hurt so much by the being right.
I don't practice political correctness. I practice the truth, and you know that.
No, I agree on that. With the fact that, you never have a definition or a concept of a lone wolf, because you're talking about an environment that nurtures, that give birth to the quote-unquote lone wolf.
When he came here, he hated America. He had to. There's no question he did. Then he gets into our society, and then he starts making his plans, and then he executes a terrorist act.
To read his mind, though, he would say, hey, in a celebration mood, say, hey, see, okay, I plan to kill them, and they gave me a green card to come over to do it.
Absolutely.
He would think that way.
He'll think we're stupid, and we are.
Yeah,
we
that's
are.
why I say our stupidity is killing us, and yet for that, we play by the rule. We people bunch of people who play by the rules are being bullied.
Well, but the rule of political correctness is just wrong. The truth is right, but I think it's really there are people dying. These people are dead. They died in a horrific way, being run over by a truck and squeezed to death. In agonizing, and the people injured, the agony of all of that, and because we let them in here without, it's just really. It's so sad, Jack.
Unbearable.
It's
right?
unbearable.
If there's a moment that we Americans are supposed to wake up, and this is the moment.
My heart is bleeding for these people.
Yeah, I'm saying that if there's a moment, well, the Americans are supposed to wake up. And this is the waking up moment.
Yeah.
It's high time we did that. We should have woken up already a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. And look at what's happening recently. It's one after another. Since what happened last year, Christmas or Thanksgiving? Christmas, around Christmas, San Bernardino.
Yeah, 14 people.
14 people,
killed by people that they.
14 people.
Yeah, that they went to their wedding.
On and on and on and on.
Right.
Until what happened in Las Vegas, and the definition was still lone wolf.
50. Yeah, and it's just not a true statement.
I don't believe
it's
that's
a false
lone
statement.
wolf.
Of course, it's not a lone wolf.
Okay, now let's talk about it. Let's spend some time on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now a lone wolf. Okay, moving around that many pieces of a heavy-duty weapon.
Right.
By weight only. By weight only.
Right.
I consulted some weapon experts.
Yeah.
That would worth totally. Okay, 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, in that case, how did they get him in the
For
hotel?
that 2,000 pounds, you need a pickup truck.
Yeah.
For a pickup truck loaded with guns, how did he get in? All right. Okay, now,
somebody cooperated.
If he hand carried it, he carried it on his shoulder, he carried it on his body. Where does the security camera go?
And what they're saying is there's less security cameras in hallways in certain areas in Vegas than you think there is. I think there'd be cameras everywhere.
Where did the security personnel go?
Well,
right?
they have a routine.
They have a routine of checking. All right.
See, what they also found out, he used a freight elevator. More than once, a freight elevator. How does a customer at a hotel use a freight elevator? I don't know the answer to that.
How could that be allowed right now?
Right.
And for him to shoot out a window exactly to the right angle.
Oh yeah, he studied it.
In the way he did.
Yeah.
I don't think you put everything together. And there's a informant who was shot and wounded, which is a security guy.
Right.
Right. Okay, now, and if you put the missing ends together, well, it didn't work. It didn't work. Give you an image as a lone wolf. It's not a lone wolf act.
Yeah, and so far we have no idea what his.
There must be somewhere, somehow, related or attached, and the government does not convince themselves to say that.
That I don't. That's a very good question.
All right.
Right.
The government will try to say, hey, let's play low-key, all right?
Yeah.
Let's call this guy lone wolf. Okay, all right.
Well,
a lone wolf. It's killed. Lone wolf is killed. Okay. It's a happy ending.
Well, the lone wolf phrase is a phrase to deny the existence of the strength and depth and breadth of radical Islam. And that's perpetuated by the left.
Okay, back to the very beginning. We are happy if this guy goes to Guantanamo Bay,
right?
And there, where he belongs, probably will find a quicker solution to put this guy to a death sentence or something.
That's what we hope for.
We agree. If there is a vote, I want to cast my vote right now.
I support that.
Okay, very good. So let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll talk about the starting from the Lone Wolf Act, and probably wanted to move to the document release of the assassination of
JFK.
JFK.
Big deal.
And from that point, we will probably find out where the government stands. Stay with us.
Right.
Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show, you ladies and gentlemen. In the weekly update with my good friend Ken Hamming, we touch base with you about the fact that President Xi Jinping and President Donald Trump are supposed or scheduled to meet in November somewhere in Beijing, in which we express our expectancy for some good things to pop up, right?
Yes.
As a result, these two nations, if we go hand in hand, there's nothing we cannot do, right? And number
That's
two,
true.
we're talking about poor guy Harvey Weinstein. He's a bad guy, of course, and he did dirty things, disgusting things, but still there are lessons to learn.
Yes.
The lesson to learn is that if you girls or whoever, or nowadays you can
Or boys, yeah.
you can talk about boys,
Right.
whoever
You're right.
encounter in a situation like that. What you do, slam on the face, kick it in the glorious area, and run as fast as you could. That's it.
Yeah, call the police.
On the way out, you smash things, break windows, make huge noise whatsoever. Ken Hamming is raping me, like that kind of thing.
Lauren, that's my daughter. He's joking.
I know. And I know. Ken Hamming will never do that.
Not at all.
And plus, he hates me.
I worship women. They're
right,
they're
get it.
spectacular.
All right, then. And then we talked about the document release of regarding former President J.F. Kennedy's assassination, in which there are doubts to talk about. For the partial release, there is a partial remain a secrecy, and for a government to keep that for legitimate reason, the only answer could be that something somehow involved in the assassination is still alive.
They've
right?
had 50
Other
years
than
to deal with it.
50 years to deal with and
Yeah.
not dealt with.
Right.
But anyway, there must be something. Okay, now, history will tell, time will tell. Now down to the last one, the tax cut,
Yes, sir.
which is thing that I put in the last. I want the and happy ever after.
We hope. We pray.
Right. The tax cut thing has been on the lips for quite some time. Ever since the early days of Donald Trump's campaign, and tax cut was his principle.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And he almost talked at every campaign event on the trail all the way to even this day. Now, it looks that things are put into practice. Thoughts are put in words are put now in activities, right? What have you heard about the tax cut?
Well, there's many issues that aren't resolved. We'll find out next Wednesday what the details of the proposed tax reform program will be. But just one overall thing that that I think most reasonable people believe in, that if it's a tax cut in a rate, that everybody, poor, middle class, and wealthy, should benefit from it. The top, the 10% pay 70% of all taxes that go to the government. Of course they need a break too, because it just makes sense, because they're also the people that create jobs, and so the more money they have and are able to keep, they can reinvest in equipment, and they can reinvest in new employees, and also innovation. So those are beautiful things. People should not look. There's like the 7 zip codes around Washington, D.C., are among the richest zip codes in America, and mostly occupied by politicians. Okay, there are so many rich Democrats. It's so incredible. And when they say, "Oh, you can't give a tax cut to the rich," it's hypocrisy, because that's who they are. They are the rich.
Are there rich Republicans?
Of course there are.
Yeah, sure.
Well, sure.
Next time we just include them. Yeah.
Well, they were included by attrition, okay? But basically, anybody, you see, intelligence in business success has nothing to do with what party you're in.
All right.
It has to do with an individual talent, okay? So,
and then, best way to express it, those rich guys, or rich people, that's it.
well, those
Not
are lies.
rich Democrats, not Republicans, just the rich people, that's it. Okay.
Well, but the
wealth has no partisanship.
Well, no, but the Democrats, Jack, they despise a tax cut for themselves, which is a hypocritical statement. Everybody should benefit.
That's away from the subject today, from the focus today. Today we're talking the tax.
Well, okay,
cut.
and then so we're really right now at about 4 brackets that they're proposing. Probably 20% for the corporate, which is we were hoping for 15%, but. And then
So
certain
previously
deductions.
it was 35, right?
Yeah, or 39.6 too, over a certain amount, pretty high. Corporate's 35, so individual 39.6. We got to see what happens. I do believe it's going to happen. Okay, I have optimism. They did pass the budget, which was a necessary step to be able to bring to the floor and to pass the tax bill with a majority of senators, not 60.
That's what I
That's
heard
the big
yesterday,
thing.
because the Congress has approved the budget.
Yeah.
Right?
Late at night,
The budget to kick off the actual work.
and only by 4 votes, which is rather staggering. 20 Republicans did not vote for it in the House, which is sort of, I don't know, absurd.
That decision, that kind of vote, does not call for a supreme majority,
No.
right?
No.
Just the regular
Right,
majority. Will go.
51 in the Senate, right?
51
But
is
but
what
but it just a majority in the House, and the Republicans have a majority. They'll have the votes in the House. It's like I still can't imagine anybody not voting for something that does improve what is very overly complicated and restrictive for growth of our economy. By the way, this last quarter we were over 3%. It had been higher if we didn't have the hurricanes. Gross national product. It hasn't been there in all.
Except California.
Well, no, the country, yeah.
No, I believe that the tax cut could be welcome to all states, well, including California, because California votes on everything. You want to do a tax increase, you want a tax cut, you want to do whatever, they vote.
They vote for increases.
They vote for
This is
increase.
the highest tax
We
state
just did,
in America.
Remember, my dear folks, remember what we just did with a tax increase of gasoline?
Yeah.
Okay, starting November 1st, you're paying 12 cents more per gallon of gasoline for gasoline tax.
It's evil. It's just evil. And the problem with that too, the
voted.
poorer people have the biggest negative impact on them.
We voted.
Well, I'm not in the we, okay? Maybe you're in the we, I'm not in the we. But yes, your representatives did. But the thing is, that's where the less money you have, the more you're impacted by it. And also the poorer people, middle class and lower economic class, they usually have longer commutes to work too, Jack.
I'm considered poor people.
Well,
I'm among the poor people, poor folks.
Well, there's a lot poorer than you, Jack. There's a lot of people that live. Actually, the average.
And yet the poor people have to pay starting January 1st, 2018.
Right. No.
Which is down 2 months down the road.
Right.
And an extra $175 for registration. That's a hell lot of money.
And we've talked about this before. When they get a ticket, say I get a speeding ticket, and some guy that barely got enough money to live on gets a speeding ticket, his fine is the same as mine. That's insane. They really are hurt by the magnitude of the fines for traffic infractions. Really hurts my soul.
Yeah, of course.
Really hurts
the guy
me.
in Mercedes-Benz, such as in your case, pays $500 for speeding.
Right.
The guy in the
62 Corvair,
62
they paid the same 500.
Right?
Yeah.
The same thing, 500.
Right. It's not right.
Okay, that's not right. Okay,
Well, because and it's not right because I should pay more than they do. But that's all too big of a fine. It should be equally payable by all citizens.
Right.
So
Anyway,
it's a really bad deal.
I don't know what's wrong with California. We Californians vote on everything.
Hey, California
we voted on water bond.
Well,
right?
California voted itself as a sanctuary state, which I find
we vote on
despicable.
Everything, on everything.
Despicable.
On the one hand, we voted for immigration reform. On the other, we voted for a sanctuary city or state. And then we voted for the tax increase for gasoline.
Everything.
And we voted in the increase of registration fees. $175.
Everything.
And now we're saying that we hail for the Donald Trump tax hike.
Well-
I lost my own description. Who am I?
Right.
Who are Californians?
Well, we're irrelevant in the state.
We're
I'm irrelevant because there's not enough people like me. Irrelevant. Right.
Irrelevant. Yeah, irrelevant.
No one cares what I think.
Now,
Nobody cares what I
okay.
do.
Let's stop
Okay,
complaining.
but
all right?
but we'll find out then, and we should have a vote perhaps before Thanksgiving. Maybe there'll be something
Oh,
thankful
good.
to be. Maybe there'll be something thankful to be thankful for on Thanksgiving
All
this
right,
year,
good.
and it helps everybody. And yet,
when
yeah.
if this works out, when would that apply? Be imposed.
hopefully for this year, 2017, retroactively to January 1, 2017. That's what
okay.
everybody wants. That's what it should be. And
How much would that affect you and me? I know between you and me, there is no comparison. You make
Well,
too much money. I make too
that-
little. How
well,
much would it affect you and me?
I do agree you make too little, but I'd say I only work. Don't forget, I just work 2 days a week now. Okay, so I don't make big money, but
You're 2 weeks.
but I'm doing well.
But
But
I mean, you're 2 days a week.
but it could mean 10,000 in taxes for me, 15,000. Less to pay. I mean, it's a big deal. If the rates go down, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Right.
And I bend over for a penny if I see it laying there now. We all have to protect ourselves. In President Trump, they're talking about modifying the 401k plans to encourage people to start saving younger. And right now, the average contribution by the average worker to 401ks is like $200 a month. Well, you'd have to live to be 4,000 years old at $200 a month compounding interest to have enough money to retire.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, just
You're
to
right,
pay
you're
your
right,
gas
you're right.
taxes.
That's
So-
a joke, but one thing for sure.
But it's true, yeah.
People are scared off to retire. They stay on the job because they are so scared.
Well, and we're also healthier than we used to be. And so
Oh, yeah,
to me,
that's a fact.
the retirement age, for Social Security is 65. I think it ought to go to at least 67, 68. People are working past 65. We live longer. And so, you don't want to run out of money before you run out of oxygen, okay? You want to die with the dime in your pocket at least. And so we should, I can't figure out why we don't raise the age. It's common sense, the age. Way back when 65 was selected as a retirement age, people were dying at 72. Now it's like 88.
Last time at the fair, county fair or something.
Yeah.
There's a table. There's a booth.
Oh yes.
Selling the plots.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Selling the plots.
Rose Hills.
Rose. Yeah.
Rose Hills plots.
Nice
selling
place.
Plots, and it kind of stopped me.
Yeah.
Probably I look too old. I don't know. They want to make a sale. I said no. I'm too poor to die.
Yeah. That's right. No.
I'm just too poor to die. I don't have the dying money. All right.
Right.
So
no.
that's why I still live.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, in the old days we had incinerators. You could just throw your body in your backyard incinerator that
Yeah, we
burned
could do
trash.
that, burn
That's what
that.
it used to do when I was a kid.
You want to cremate it?
Not people, but
You want,
trash.
You want to cremate?
Yeah.
And then what you do, you kind of like get more oxygen, let it blow out.
Yeah, right.
There's no.
And then we had pollution.
Yeah, there's no pollution. Only carbon.
That's true. That's
Only
right.
carbon.
That's fair.
They fertilize the land.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Good.
true.
My dear audience, the one thing for sure I promise you, I'm too poor to die. I do not have the dying money. He does. Do you? You don't, right? You do, right?
I have enough to die.
You have the dying money.
I can pay for my burial.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, good. Very good. All right, my dear friends, thank you for sharing. We're joking. Nobody wants to die.
No.
I don't want my friend to die.
I love life.
Even though he has lots of dying money, I still don't want him to die. All right, okay, anyway, thank you for watching. And so much is the weekly update.
Yeah.
And I
Next
hope-
week will be big.
I hope by next week, oh, by the way, the coming week will be the week of the Chinese American Film Festival.
Oh yes. Glorious.
Chinese American Film Festival, on the 13th anniversary, 13 years, 13 years. That's a lot of years.
That's a lot of
Right?
years.
A 13-year-old boy would be this tall.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The film festival.
Oh, yeah.
The boy is
13 years
so
from now,
old.
my 28-year-old grandson will be 13.
Yeah, sure.
And
sure.
he'll
And
go there
by
with
the-
me.
By the old China, 13 could be a father,
That's
right? Something
yeah,
like that.
It's true.
Okay, now,
Physically
by the way,
possible.
for your information, the county of Los Angeles has made the month of November the month of Chinese American Film Festival.
Really?
Yes. And
Great.
the city of LA made the day, November 1st, the day of the Chinese American Festival.
Really? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Because I've been there the last several years, and I'll be there,
Hallelujah.
and I love it.
Hallelujah. On the 29th, 29th, which is Sunday,
Wow. Beautiful.
onward, on all the way to the entire November. So,
Beautiful.
folks, we'll see you there. There are going to be some tickets available. Check online. All right. So, see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jack.
All right. Thank you.
Cool.